Okay, so today we're gonna basically make a game model ready for 3D printing. Okay, so I'm going to import this model as it is. Now, first thing we need to do is make sure our scale of the entire model is close to the default cube in Blender. And the reason is because we have to do a lot of modifier work on top of this. So if it's close to scale one, like the scale 1 of the default cube, it's the modifiers are going to be more predictable. Otherwise you get unexpected results and it's hard to find what's causing the issue. So I'm going to delete this armature over here and make sure that this is close to the size of the cube, which it is. I think it's fine. So this mesh, now we're going to start working on it. Now before we start doing anything, I'm going to go into edit mode and I'm going to split all of its part into separate pieces, and that just makes it easier for us to prepare it for 3D printing. And I'm gonna go over here, A to select everything. I'm going to press Ctrl F, trace to quads. Then I'm going to press M, merge by distance. And now I'm going to press P and parent by loose parts. And this will automatically separate all the parts out into different pieces, which is very good, which is exactly what we need. Now I can select piece one by one and basically see what I need to do to prepare it for printing. So on this guy over here, I'm gonna go and turn on my face orientation. We don't want to see any red in our mesh because we're preparing it for 3D printing. It should have two sides to it. And over here, I think we have two planes. So let me just check. Okay, no, we have one. That's fine. Just for the sake of easiness, I'm going to merge this over here, merge this over there, merge at last, and merge at last. Okay, this looks perfect so far. And over here, I'm going to fill in this hole too. Now, to make sure we don't see the red, I'm going to go over here into my modifiers and add a solidify modifier. And I'm going to increase the thickness over here. Now, you can see I'm not getting a good result with this bottom face over here. So I'm just going to select this as it is, and I'm going to press P and parent it by selection. So it becomes its own piece. Otherwise, that weird fighting that we're seeing, that will lead to more problems. And for now, I'm just going to hide this. So now this piece over here, I can increase the thickness and this looks fine. To know how much thickness I need, we don't need this anymore right now. Okay, to make sure we are at the right thickness, I'm going to press / key to go back, and over here I don't want any weird artifacts. So you can see if I decrease the thickness or increase it, yeah, you can see where it's causing an issue when it starts overlapping. So I don't want too much thickness, something like this, it looks fine. Something that's hidden inside the model, so outside our model looks the same. Then to clear out any issues, I can just right click shade auto smooth and this looks fine. If you still see some weird artifacts in your model, go to your data properties, go to geometry data and clear custom split normal data. This is something that comes with any model that you import into Blender. And now if I look at this in isolated view, you can see it looks fine. I'm going to, as I'm working on this model, I'm also going to make sure my model is nicely rounded. You can see these jagged edges right now. In 3D printing, basically you're looking at your model in this view. So if it looks like this over here, that's how your 3D printer is going to see it. So I don't want this. I want this to have better topology. So I'm going to go down over here, add a bevel modifier, increase the bevel amount segments to 3. And I'm going to add a subdivision modifier on it. And if I didn't add the bevel, you can see it does this to the corners, which I don't like. So turn it on and I'm going to increase the subdivision to something like this. And this looks fine. It's cornering these two bevels, which I didn't like, so I changed the value until it didn't do it for those corners. Okay, now it looks perfect. Okay, now with this done, this is basically ready. I can apply both of these modifiers. And I'm going to turn on my stats over here, so basically I can see the stats. Now, I don't need to do this on this particular mesh, but I'm going to do this just in case so I don't get any issues later on. And that's basically, you need to remesh it. So if there's any part in this mesh that's like not proper topology, the remesh modifier is going to force it into a good topology. Right now that's too dense, so let me just make this value a bit higher. Okay, 450,000, but it's a bit jagged, so I'm going to decrease this, maybe 0.3. Okay, 1.2 million, this looks fine. I'm going to apply this and then I'm going to decimate this, use a decimate modifier with 0.5 decimate value, duplicate it, I'm going to bring it down at least under 50,000. Ideally, like under 50,000, but like under 100,000 is usually fine. If you have like a PC that or a laptop that can't handle it, you can go down a bit further. You can go down up to the amount until you start like you don't see any visual artifacts. So even now this looks visually the same. So that's how I know I can go down further. And again, this was not necessary for this part, but I would still recommend you to do it because again, it's made for game. There might be some floating bits or something you didn't really see, and it causes an issue later on. It's just a good precaution to have it good topology, like good mesh for your 3D printing. Now you can see it's under 40,000 or something. I think this is fine. I'm going to hit on apply. Okay, and now I'm going to move this into a new collection, and I'll just call it remeshed. And over here, I'm going to turn off this collection, and this will let me know how much parts I've done. Now, I'm basically going to repeat this process one by one for each of these parts. So again, for the next one, first we need to add solidify to give it some thickness. Now, how much thickness do I need? At least enough so it doesn't go outside my other mesh. And if you want to turn it on, you can. I can see still inside. Okay, something like this is fine. And if I turn on my remesh, you can see it's still not outside. Basically, I want to make sure that my remesh, this mesh and this inside, they are basically intersecting one another nicely. Like they should be intersecting one another. Right now, I think we can increase it. Yeah, so this much. Do you see how it's intersecting? That's what we need. And I want to make sure it's intersecting on all sides. Okay, over here, it's going out. Let me see if it causes a visual problem. It does. I can either delete this area or fix this area. For now, I think it's fine if I just move this in. Sure, something like this, so we don't see any artifacts outside. And over here, I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. Add a bevel modifier first. Above this, change the bevel amount to 3, and then add a subdivision modifier. And shade flat is fine. Okay, I need to add bevel after solidify, so it works nicely. And now I can see that the model is overlapping the way it should be, and there should be no like outside visual junk. So I'm just going to move this in until we don't see that over there. Same thing over here. If I see this, I need to move this until I don't see it. So outside needs to be as clean as possible, and anything you don't really see on the outside, you don't have to fix. But I can see this over here. I'm going to just turn on connected only, this proportional editing. So basically when I move, it's moving all the connected edges together. Okay, this side looks clean. Maybe I can decrease the solidify amount just a tiny bit. Okay, now this looks perfect over here. So I'm gonna select this, /key to look at it in isolated view, apply all of my modifiers and remesh this as well. I'm gonna use the same method we did before. This looks fine. And then I can decimate it. Okay, now we have this part done. I'm gonna move on to another part. I think this part, and this part, this can all be one, and it should be fine. So I'm going to press /key so I can look at this, and this looks already good. So let me just shade auto smooth this. Ctrl-J to join all of this into one. I'm going to add a bevel modifier on this. Change the segments to 3, change the bevel amount to 0.02, add a subdivision modifier on this. So over here the subdivision is not working nice, so I'm going to press K for my knife tool and just add a few knives over here. So it basically forces the topology to be good. Like it forces the topology to subdivide over there much more centered, and it just leads to better result. I'm going to do the same thing over here. K for your knife tool, then press C to get your cut to go through, and then just click. K, C, enter. And again, because we are 3D printing, we don't have to be too worried about topology. It doesn't matter what the topology looks like, as long as visually it looks okay, then it's fine. Okay, I can see that this is looking okay, and this is why we prefer to remesh this afterwards. So if there is any glitch in the topology, it's automatically going to get fixed. I don't have to worry about it. Right now the bevel is not continuing over here, so I'm just going to scale this a bit up maybe until I see the bevel. Yeah, something like this. Now the bevel continues. Okay, this looks a lot nicer. Okay, now I'm going to apply this, and over here let's go back to our remesh. Okay, at 1.2 million I think it's fine, and then we decimate again. And I'm going to move this under remesh, press / key to go back. Now I can turn off my remesh and I get what I'm working on over here. And let's work on this chair next. So I'm going to select all the parts of the chair, and we can make them into one object. I think there's a back seat. Let me just hide this. Okay, this looks fine now. I'm going to press Ctrl J, make this one object, press / key. Over here, add a bevel modifier on this. Change the segments a bit, maybe change the angle a bit. And then add a subdivision modifier over here. Change the subdivision amount to 2. Again, we're getting the same issue that we got before, so we need to make sure our topology is good enough over here. I'm going to press L over here to select only this part and press Shift H so we hide all the other parts. And then I'm gonna go back into the straight head-on view, press K for knife tool, C to cut through, and just click. Click. And you can see it just forces the topology to be good over there. Again, we don't need perfect topology, just good enough topology so that it works. And over here, I'm going to select these and fill this up. Okay, now visually this looks fine, and I don't see any reds except for the bottom over here, so let's fix that. Okay, now one more problem is that the bevel over here is not at the right location. So I'm going to add another bevel on top of this one, and I'm going to change this to weight. And in my edit mode, I'm just going to select these edges and give them a mean bevel weight of 1. And that's basically going to force a bevel over here. I just made sure we don't see any red over here, and now this looks fine. So now I can apply all of these modifiers, and I can add a remesh on top of this, and I can see my scale is not 111, which is not good, so I need to apply the scale and then remesh it again. Okay, now this looks fine, but I think we went a bit higher, so I'm gonna go a bit lower. Yeah, this looks fine, and now I can apply this. And again, we're going to repeat the same step. Okay, now we move on to some other part. I think this headpiece is fine to work on, so I'm going to press / key to go into my isolated view, select everything, press Ctrl A, apply scale, so make sure everything is 111. And then this bottom hole we need to fill. These horns, I need to add subdivision modifier on these. Same thing with the head. I'm just going to add subdivision modifier on this so it looks nice and rounded. Then over here we add a bevel modifier and we add a subdivision modifier. And now this looks nice and rounded too. Now we select all of these parts, we convert to mesh so all the modifiers are applied. We Ctrl J to merge this into one object, and then we go over and add a remesh modifier. We already know we're using a value of 0.02. Okay, I think we can go a bit higher. Okay, now if I press / key, I can go back and I can move this into my remeshed collection. And now we continue on with some other pieces. So these parts that are going to be mirrored on the other side, I can just delete the other side for now. And I'll just remesh, make this mirror to the other side. That's going to be fine. I'm going to select these three parts and let's press / key to go into an isolated view. I'm going to select this, fill this in. This looks fine. And then we do the same thing we have been doing so far. Okay, now this looks visually fine. Let me just decrease the value. Okay, I think this looks nice. If I move the bottom edge slightly, it will go to the right angle and it will basically recognize it. So that's what I did. Okay, looks good enough. I'm gonna go over here, apply all of this, remove this, and add a remesh on this. My scale is not 1:1:1, and you can see that just makes it way too big. And now I'm going to use the value 0.04. Okay, that's good enough. Now over here, I'm going to add decimate. Oh, let me apply this first. Okay, now these pieces, I think they can all be one and it should be fine. So I'm just going to select all of these, press / key to go into an isolated view. And let's fill this up first. And I'm going to select this, extrude it in until it touches that part. If you still see weird shading, go into object data properties and just clear custom split normal data, shade flat. Okay, looks good enough. Then over here, I'm gonna do the same thing. F to fill this, then select this edge, and let's press F to fill all of this in. Good enough. Now I can merge all of these into one piece. And over here, add a bevel modifier, apply the scale, add a subdivision modifier. Change the bevel amount until I'm happy with it. Okay, over here the mesh we filled in, I just need to connect it properly. So I'm gonna go over here, connect these properly. And let me just hide this part so I can focus on the part that's causing me some issue over here. Okay, now I'm going to select these remaining parts too and merge them with this part, and let's just see how it looks. Everything looks fine so far. To make sure I don't get this, I'm just going to press Ctrl T and that just automatically forces a connection. Okay, that doesn't look nice. I'm going to press I to insert this first. And over here, I can just merge these at center. Merge these as well. Okay, this looks good enough. Now I'm going to apply all of these, remove this one, and then add a remesh modifier and use the same value we have been using so far. apply this and then add a decimate on this. Okay, now I'm going to move it under remesh and then go back. And if I turn this on, you can see everything should be connected properly. Let me mirror this to the other side. So yeah, now we have this one over here too. And we can do this top part next. I'm going to press Ctrl J to just connect all of this, apply scale, and then go over here, add a bevel modifier on this, add a subdivision modifier next, change the amount to 3 maybe, and subdivision. I think this looks fine over here. We don't want to see any red, so I'm going to just fill this in. Good enough. And now I can apply all of these, remove this, add a remesh modifier, change the value same way we did for all the other meshes, hit apply, and then decimate this. Now for all of these, I'm going to press / key again. Let's Ctrl J to join them into one, add a bevel modifier, change the segments to 3, change the angle a bit higher maybe, something like this, add a subdivision modifier. Oops. Okay, now this looks nice and rounded. Let's just fill in the bottom so we don't see any red over there. Apply, remove this, Ctrl A, apply scale, add a remesh, same value as we have been using so far. Decimate, change 0.5, and we're just going to decimate it. So this detail over here, this will either get removed when you 3D print it, because right now it's way too narrow. So if this is important and something you want to keep, I would recommend just like selecting this part and scaling it up so it's a bit wider. Maybe something like this, and then I can add Ctrl R to add some loop cuts over here. And then I can delete all those extrusion parts. Same thing with the ring. If I want to make it a bit thicker, I'm going to scale it up first and then press Alt S to inflate it out. So basically when I do remesh and everything, it's going to preserve those details a lot better when they are thicker. Now this looks a lot better and a lot more preservable. So I'm going to apply all of these again, apply the scale fine mesh, and then remesh this again. Okay, now we only have these screw remaining, so I'm going to select all of these. First, this side one, I'm going to press Ctrl J. These ones, let's add them into Ctrl J. And then I'm going to delete those ones because we can mirror this on the other side by adding a mirror modifier. And then over here, I'm going to add a bevel modifier, same way we did before, and then add a subdivision modifier, same way we did before. Apply the scale of your objects, make sure they have the hole is filled in. Now, if these screws were already like connected to the other part, I wouldn't have to fill them in, but it's fine. Because we did them separately, I think it's okay. Oh, we're missing a piece. Okay, we haven't worked on this yet. And this thing. Okay, I think this looks fine. I'm going to remove this and apply all of these modifiers over here. Now this we really don't have to remesh, but again, I'm just gonna make sure that we do it. So I would prefer to like not have any surprises. And we can do both of these together too. Let me apply the mirror modifier first. And then I'll merge it over here, add a bevel modifier, change the segments to 3, and add a subdivision modifier. Fill in the back. Change the angle a bit. That looks good enough. I can hit apply the scale, add a remesh, 0.004. 2. Okay, my mesh disappeared and that's because it has a hole, so I need to fill that. Okay, now it looks fine. I'm going to change this to 4. We don't need to be in 5 million. Now I'm going to press / key to go back, and now that we have all of these parts separately well set up, we can start joining them. So I'm going to select this, shift click on this. Oh, we never did this part. Do we need it? Okay, I think we do. So let's just do this part as well. Okay, I can see that that part is coming through over here. So I can select the green part, go into sculpt mode, and just move this slightly back using the grab brush. G is for grab brush. And that's not going to like modify a lot of its visual appearance. It's just going to move the back topology a bit further. If you're not comfortable with sculpting mode, you can also do this in edit mode. If I go into edit mode, select this edge, turn on proportional editing, I can just move this by pressing G and Y. You can change the influence circle by moving your cursor up and down and make sure this is set to connected only. And now you can see it just does this very easily. Okay. Now I'm going to select, okay, first let's do this part as well. For this part, I don't really have to go too high because it's just going to be a plane. So I'm just going to keep it as it is. And now I can start merging things together. So first thing, I'm going to select this thing, then shift click on this and go to edit option. And I have this boolean on. If you don't see this option, you need to go to edit, preferences, under add-ons or get extensions, just search for bool tool and make sure this is enabled. Once it is, now you'll see this option under edit menu in object mode. And now if I click on brush boolean union, it's going to basically join the mesh together. I can see there's some error over here, so I'm going to change the method to exact, and that for the most part fixes the issue. If it doesn't, then we press / key and we're gonna see what's causing the issue over here. So let me just, I don't, it's not an issue, it was just like a visual glitch. Okay, this looks fine. And basically I'm going to start adding things on top of this. Okay, let me go to edit, preferences, and under my bool tool settings, let me just turn off this wireframe. Okay, much better. Exact is like a slightly different calculation the way it does it, but usually exact result is much better than float result. So that's what I prefer. Okay, over here I can see there's some small distance separating the two, which I don't really like, so I'm gonna move this down. I need to select this wire box over here. I'm going to just turn off the boolean first, because it's faster if the boolean is off. And I'm gonna go into edit mode of this box, select this end over here, and just move it down. Okay, now let me just apply all of these. Now you can see we have this mesh over here. Okay, now you can see we have this mesh over here, and this is our finished model. If I go over here to File, Export, STL, and I'm going to click on Selection Only. I'm gonna name this Remeshed, and I'm going to export it as an STL. Okay, now if I go to my remesh, let me just do this again. If I use the model as it is that I got, as soon as I slice it, you can see I'm going to run into issues. It's going to, because this is a game ready mesh, it's not meant for printing. You can see all those separated parts are not going to slice properly. But if I go over here and I take this model in, the one we just remeshed, and I click on Slice Plate, you can see instantly we're getting a much better result than we were having before. And it slides very nicely. Right? So let me know if you have any questions of every step we did. If you do, you can leave a comment and I'll get back to you. One more thing to consider is if I go into item, all that we did it at the default scale value, which is bigger than like 2 meters. Like our mesh was slightly bigger than the default cube. So if you want to scale this down later on, you can just add a cube over here. Instead of scaling the mesh to your dimensions, you add a cube and you type in your dimensions here. Let's say you want maybe 0.5 or 6 inches, let's say. Right, so this is about the dimension that I need. I can just select this and then scale it down to fit inside that 6 inches cube. Let me just move it above the ground. So now this thing, when I 3D print it, it's going to be like up to that amount. This is the fastest way that you can like get it to a proper dimension. It's much easier to do it this way than to basically do it directly on the model itself. You just add a cube, you make it the dimension, and then you scale down your entire model to that dimension. Okay, awesome. Let me know if you have any questions.